we're here. We're going to do a little yoga therapy on this amazing makeup artist. This is something that sort of happens in our industry a lot, is dealing with emotions that come up and charges that come up from interacting with either different clientele that you're doing or just anybody walking in and out of the salon. So tell me about your...
So I'm Jill. I work at Amelia Paris. I do makeup here and I'm an esthetician as well. I had an experience where I worked on a famous actress. I did her makeup for a banquet that she was going to. I didn't really know her all that well to begin with, and I was a little shocked at the way that she acted and treated both the hairstylist and me. And I was just speaking with my boss about it, and we were talking about better ways to handle situations and how to let go of the negativity and bring some positivity into the situation.
Yeah, so you had a really great opportunity to work on somebody very famous, and having those opportunities, sometimes the people that you're working on can be going through a plethora of different experiences themselves. So, you know, just like everyone, there could be these experiences that come up that are difficult for you. What do you feel like was the hardest thing? Like, what really hurt your feelings, or what was like the worst part of it for you?
So what bothered me was she came, I was already set up, I had been there for an hour waiting for her to come, and she wanted to take a shower, which was fine. She got off the plane. She wanted to shower. What bothered me was she took her dear old time getting in the chair, and then once she sat down, it was like, let's go, let's go. I start with my eyebrows always first.
So you felt rushed?
Yeah.
You felt like your time wasn't respected in the beginning, and then once you did sit down, you felt really rushed.
Like I had driven all the way, like an hour and a half away. I set up, I waited for her to get there, and then I'm 2 minutes into her eyebrows, and she tells me, hurry up, move on, we don't have enough time. And I was just kind of taken back, because normal people, I feel like, don't talk to, especially if you're doing a favor for someone, such as their makeup. I did it complimentary. She didn't pay me, and there was just no respect on her end. Like, she was almost better.
How did you ground yourself in that moment? Like, how were you able to continue actually working when you could feel this emotional rise in yourself?
I just kind of took a deep breath in and let it out, and just said, okay, you have this set time, we have to get this done. All right, I'll move on to the actual eyeshadow. Good. So then I finished the brows, but very fast, and then I just put a base on for her eyeshadow, like a primer, and then I just started going in with the eyeshadow. So great. I took it into consideration that she was rushing and she had a certain time to be somewhere, but she didn't handle it the best way, but that's what I had to do.
Was she gracious afterwards? Did she thank you?
No. When we were done, she told me she wanted eyelashes and she didn't. Then she ended up wanting them at the end, but we didn't have enough time. So she was very indecisive with what she wanted, and then she never said thank you to me or the hairstylist. Also at the end, everyone was taking pictures of her because she's, a celebrity, and then we tried to get a picture with her, and she heard us, but she would just kind of like dodge it and then move on to something else, and like start like playing with her hair or something. And we mentioned, let's get a picture, like 3 or 4 times, and then it got to a point where it was like, she clearly doesn't want the picture, and that was offensive, because it was just, you showed no gratitude for what I just did for you.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah. So
yes,
we did end up getting the picture, but we had to ask quite a few times. So
yeah. Well, it sounds like when you were doing your breath work, that really helped to ground you and to sort of push past where all this emotion and things were coming up, because you still had a job to do, and you still wanted to do a great job. So that was great. I think that was awesome how you were able to rebalance yourself just through your breath work and sort of connecting to the earth. It's really important. The other thing you want to think about is karma, right? So karma is like an action word. It's like going, going, going. So when we have a bad situation that happens and we keep bringing it up over and over again, we are actually recreating that suffering again and again and again, and we're spreading it, sort of like wildfire. And that's sort of where, when you hear people talk about gossip, it's kind of the beginning of gossip, where it gets stuck in the mud of the bad part of the situation, and what is lost is the really good part of the situation. So that's really what we want to focus on. It was an amazing opportunity for you to work on someone that was really famous, and that's great. And so knowing that going into the future, when you do have celebrities and things like that, things can be really high pressured for the celebrity that you're working on, and oftentimes they can seem like with no gratitude, but there's also a tremendous amount of pressure on them because they are just human, just like us. And it's sad that she didn't really give the gratitude that would have made everything feel a little bit better, but that's where you just sort of have to let it go. There's a lot of ways that you can do things to sort of let things go. Do you have a favorite thing that you already do for when your feelings get hurt? Like how do you let things go?
I like to take some time by myself. I don't like talking about it with people. I don't want to vent about it. I just like to be by myself.
Do you go in nature, or is there someplace special that you like to go, or is it just the physical activity of walking?
I guess outside is more relaxing, but I mostly just want to be alone and not talk to anyone and just kind of...
Do you feel isolated when you don't talk about it though?
No, like if I'm upset about something and someone keeps saying, what's wrong, it will make me upset. Like, if you're upset and they keep asking, and then it makes you like your eyes water, and you actually like let the emotion out, which might be a good thing. But I don't know, I just, when something first happens, I just like to, and then once I like, I guess, feel it out, then I like can talk about it. But
yeah, sometimes having a support person is really important. And whether it is your mom or your dad or a friend or a therapist or someone
if I'm upset about something, I will like call my dad and talk to me a little bit.
Yeah, because a lot of times we don't want to really hold negative stuff inside of us with no one to help us process. That becomes really isolated and really lonely, and when you do that for a prolonged period of time, it can lead to depression or just feeling like you can't figure things out. So talking about it is great. You really do want to talk about it anytime something happens, but you don't want to continue to talk about it. You want to talk about it, have someone help you process it, and then get into whatever was good about that situation and keep thinking about that. Keep spinning on what was good and just sort of let go of everything that is not serving you. And then you get to the essence of service, right? Because when you are in the service industry, which we all are, we are giving of ourselves all the time. And sometimes we do get gratitude back, but really that's not why we do it. We do it because we're artists and we love to paint pictures and we love to paint on people's faces and do their hair and make them look and feel good and let their confidence level rise. We do that out of the goodness of our hearts, really. So that's our ultimate gift. When we do get tips or we do get gratitude back, that's like extra. Know that you are feeding yourself whenever you're doing your artwork, whether it's makeup, eyelashes, hair, color, it's all sort of the same thing. But I'm going to teach you a few poses that are really good for grounding and really good for like getting rid of anything that doesn't serve you.
Energy.
Is that good? Okay. Right? And we did some visualization. And how was that for you?
I really liked it. I never really meditated before, and I feel like it was very relaxing. I kind of forgot I was at work, and just hearing nature in the background, it's really nice.
And how about the poses? We did child's pose.
I liked all of them. The one where,
Dolphin pose where you
Yeah.
had to use a little more strength.
yeah, I'm just not flexible, so.
Did you use anything flexible in that?
my legs? I feel like I like really stretched my
Okay.
hamstrings out.
Okay.
But I mean, it wasn't like uncomfortable.
No,
It
you
just-
never want it to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You just want it to be relaxing. If you can't relax in the pose, you're not really doing any
Right.
good for yourself. So we can always
And I
tweak
like
it a
when
little.
we went side to
Side bends were great, back bend, a little bit of that. You did a great job with that. So your SMART goals, right? So sometimes you're gonna be in these situations where you're. Anytime as hairdressers, we are literally working like in the crown chakra, right? We're working in the head space, which is really super sacred, and oftentimes we're gonna see shadow sides of people. So shadow sides of people are the side that can be pretty dark sometimes. It can be what they're processing or what they're nervous with or other things like that. So we just need to be aware that as we're working, oftentimes this can come up. And just by us holding sacred space and really just being there with that person is doing more good for them, especially if we can keep our own breath balanced. So when that situation comes up again, what would be one SMART goal, small little goal that you can do?
So I would definitely take into consideration that she was stressed out. She was making a huge appearance somewhere, so she probably had her nerves going on. So always just take into consideration how that person's feeling or what they're going through. And even
So
if
you sort of were holding a virtue of compassion a little bit
right,
for her.
yeah, and understanding. I think that would help, and then just stay in my own bubble. And even if someone's freaking out, like you told me before, someone could be yelling at you, but you have to center yourself and stay in your own bubble and realize that they're mad about something that has nothing to do with you, and they're mad about what's going on with themselves. So you listen to them and you say, I mean, you obviously be nice, but I'll get back to you tomorrow, or
Yeah, you
let
don't
it
have
calm.
to. Yeah, you need to let the emotional rise come down if you're in a situation where you're really being emotionally sort of attacked. You don't have to stand for that. You can just say, I can see you're really upset right now. I'm going to think about everything that you said, and can I get back to you tomorrow? And really we can have a little bit of a better conversation, because if the emotional rise is too high, it's not going to help anybody.
And like you said, just like keep your cool. And I already was just taking deep breaths in and out and just doing a job, but getting it done on time, doing what they want, what they're expecting, and just always
great,
make
Jill.
the client happy too.
Yeah, we sort of do that naturally just in our profession. We chose this because we do like to make people happy. Like, that's the bottom line.
Feel their most beautiful, most confident.
Yeah, it's really a special gift. So sometimes we could feel a little bit attacked or vulnerable, but if we are able to stay in our breath, which that's what she did, and I think that's what you'll be able to continue to do. The more you practice those little visualizations and meditations, I think that breath work will get easier and easier for you. And I don't think anyone will be able to knock you off your game. There's also a thing called co-regulation. So when Jill is able to stay in that breath, and even though all this other stuff is going on, she's still staying in her breath, her heartbeat is still going in a nice way, and if she's calm, she will, because she's working so closely in their energy field, she's going to help to co-regulate that person even though their energy is off, or they're having some sort of emotional rise. So if you're able to keep yourself balanced and in your own breath, you will help everyone else out. Great job. Thanks, Jill.